Are we rolling? Okay, today is January 22nd, and this is our mentor meeting about the assignment where I observed 3 YouTube videos about teachers establishing their classroom management plans. So each video had a different teacher, basically the first week of school. One was elementary, one was middle, one was high school.
Okay.
And it was a pretty straightforward assignment, and one thing that stood out to me was that each teacher went slower than I would have with explaining them and teaching them. I was like, oh man, I would be, if I was in this class, I'd be so bored. This is taking forever. But then I'm thinking, no, they need that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, nobody could argue that they have said what the rules are and what will happen if you don't follow.
Did they have like visuals and they were talking about it, or how did it?
Yeah, that was one comment. So the elementary teacher, I think that may have been one of the comments, is that she could have used some more visual. The middle and high school, that was a part of my feedback too, was that the students just looked bored a little bit, and they're all like, but also that's part of their
Syllabus.
their life. Like,
Yeah.
teenagers are like that. I have one. So I know that sometimes that's just their posture.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean they're bored, but like,
Maybe more engagement, like if there's ways to engage the students more, like role play, or like, okay, like do something just off the top of my head, like do 4 corners kind of. Have you ever done 4 corners where like the kids have to like go into each corner?
oh yeah,
So like if a teacher
music teacher does it.
Okay, so if the teacher like gave a scenario and like you have posters that are like the 4 expectations, like if it's whatever it is, like being responsible.
Yeah.
And then if the teacher gave a scenario and those kids have to like go to that specific.
Yeah, and it gets them moving.
Yeah.
That was one in the content, being able to practice and the opportunities to respond. Like, the more that they can respond to your questions, whether it's written, verbal, whatever, the more engaged they're going to be, the more they're going to remember it, and the more successful they're going to be. So that was my biggest takeaways. I took something from each teacher. My feedback, they did talk about something that I realized I could do better myself, and we were talking about self-reflection, is that calling out positive reinforcement 5 times as many times. Because I get so caught up with when I'm with a student who is just constantly off track.
Yeah.
But of course, we're not dealing with gen ed students.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with gen ed students every day, so that's, I think, to be expected, I guess. But I do need to still apply that and give more positive feedback than negative, because eventually they just tune it out, I think. And it just feels negative and bad.
Yeah.
One teacher did say, the last one, he said, the reason why I do this is because his first year teaching, he was so bad.
Like he did.
He himself,
self-reflection.
he had a situation, and it was high schoolers, where he could not get them under control. They would not stop talking. He had to call the principal into the classroom.
Oh no. Yeah.
But I don't know if you've always taught SPED, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've always taught SPED, and like we do go over routines in the beginning of the school year, and then it kind of just becomes into like the typical day, and they all have their little visuals on their token charts of like what they're supposed to be doing, like either that being quiet hands, stay in your area, calm body, whatever.
Eyes on the teacher.
Yeah. So that's kind of how we do it.
So for SPED, they need more teaching, in like almost every day.
Yeah, and it's a constant reminder, like with those visuals, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, one thing that in this module too that we don't do as much of is rewards, like classroom rewards. Now, I don't know if that concept would, if they would understand that.
That's where I'm at too, because I don't know if they would fully,
Ooh.
bless you, I don't know if they would fully comprehend, like, at the end of the week, you're going to get a classroom reward because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be really hard to manage that, considering,
Yeah.
like, maybe one student needs a reward every 2
Mhm.
hours versus
And it wouldn't be fair
long-term.
to give like a reward that everyone has to earn if you've got 2 students
Yeah.
who are not motivated by that.
Yes.
They're going to be motivated by something else. But that was something that I was like, that would be fun to do, and I think it would motivate some of our students, and maybe we could figure out a way to group
Mhm.
them in a way
Yeah.
to really, because we tried that with a student, like more of a long-term goal, to get certain behaviors.
Yeah. It did not work.
It didn't work. But we just keep trying.
Yeah.
What were our other things? Oh, wake up, computer. We have 1 more minute. Let's see. I liked learning about this, and it did make me think, you know, we talk about self-reflection and just knowing how you are. It's almost to the point where I don't know how I am yet, but I did notice that I am more negative. I do give more negative feedback than positive to
Really?
certain students.
Okay. I think you're just like trying to correct their behavior more, is what it is.
But sometimes it needs to be corrected, like there's a safety
Yeah.
issue or
Yeah. Yeah. There's I feel like, I mean, I've been doing this for so long because I was an assistant for 6 years and then I've been teaching for 5. So like, what, that's 11 years in the SPED. So like, I've seen the difference between different classrooms too when I was an assistant. So I would walk into a classroom like this teacher has no idea what they're doing. But then you go into another classroom and it's so routine and there's so many visuals. And that's why I like the visuals and the routines, because I really do feel like that helps them
yeah.
in the SPED setting at least.
And that's probably why our class, you get a lot of compliments for how this class is run. So that's probably part of it.
Yeah, I think I've been in enough classrooms over the years to where I'm like, okay, this can work for me, but that's not going to work for me. And I think that's where where my classroom management has molded from.
Yeah.
Is I've just been able to pull from different teachers, and I've had 3 really good mentor teachers
Yeah.
throughout the years, and that's kind of where my classroom is. Just like combined all their stuff into
Yeah.
this classroom.
That's kind of what I'm doing. Like every time I see something I like, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to take that because I do get to go around the school.
Yeah.
And so, okay, that's it for that one.
Yay!
Good job.